The fires are spreading. We need to move.
Agreed. Head for the archway. I'll take the rear.
For centuries, the Galactic Council believed humanity was weak. Earth was classified as a young civilization, emotional, divided, and inexperienced. Humans argued constantly among themselves, fought small wars, and struggled to manage their own planet. To the ancient alien empires, humanity was not a threat. They were just another new species discovering space. But there was something the galaxy didn't understand. Humans were peaceful not because they were incapable of war. They were peaceful because they were trying to be better than their past. That illusion ended on a distant colony world called Nova Eden. Nova Eden was one of humanity's newest settlements, a quiet green world orbiting a small star in the Orion Arm. Nearly 2 million people lived there, families, scientists, farmers, and children. It was never meant to be a military outpost. It was meant to be proof that humans could build a better future among the stars. But to the Krynn Dominion, a ruthless empire known for crushing young civilizations, humanity's expansion looked dangerous. The Krynn believed that emerging species had to be controlled early before they became powerful enough to resist. So they decided to eliminate humanity's colonies before the species could grow stronger. Without warning, a massive Krynn war fleet appeared above Nova Eden. The colony had no planetary shield, no warships, no defenses, only civilians. The Krynn didn't hesitate. Orbital weapons rained down like falling suns. Cities disappeared in seconds. Forests turned into oceans of fire. Entire continents shattered under the bombardment. Emergency channels filled with desperate calls for help. None came. Within minutes, Nova Eden was gone. 2 million humans, most of them families, were wiped from existence. And the Krynn fleet left as quietly as it had arrived. To them, it was simply preventative extermination. When the news reached Earth, the entire planet watched the final recordings from Nova Eden. Children running through burning streets, hospitals collapsing, parents shielding their families from explosions that could melt steel. Billions of humans watched the footage in silence. The Galactic Council expected anger, political outrage, demands for justice. Instead, something far more unsettling happened. Humanity said nothing. For 6 days, every human system went silent. No broadcasts, no diplomatic messages, no speeches. The Council believed humanity was mourning, but humanity was not grieving. Humanity was preparing. Hidden shipyards in the solar system came alive. Massive fleets that had never been publicly revealed began launching into space. Military AIs, long kept dormant, were reactivated. On Earth, governments that normally argued over everything suddenly agreed on one thing. There would be no negotiations. The Krynn hadn't attacked soldiers, they had slaughtered children, and human history had already decided what happened next. On the 7th day, humanity finally responded. Not with words, with war. A fleet of human warships appeared at the edge of Krynn territory without warning. The Krynn border fortress, Zarth Prime, considered one of the strongest defenses in the Dominion, detected the incoming fleet and demanded identification. Human ships never replied. They opened fire. The battle lasted 18 minutes. When it ended, Zarth Prime was nothing but drifting debris. Across the galaxy, shock spread rapidly. No one expected humanity to strike back so quickly or so violently. But this was only the beginning. Human fleets moved deeper into Krynn space with relentless precision. Their tactics were chaotic, aggressive, and terrifyingly effective. They used swarm drones, AI-guided strikes, and hyperspace ambushes the Dominion had never encountered before. The Krynn had conquered dozens of civilizations over thousands of years, but none of those species had been like humanity. Humans had spent their entire history fighting for survival against nature, disease, and even themselves. War wasn't new to them. They simply hoped they would never need it again. Within weeks, the Krynn Dominion's outer defenses collapsed. Within 2 months, their fleets were shattered. Within 3 months, human warships surrounded the Krynn home world. The Dominion's emperor demanded negotiations. For the first time, the Krynn realized their mistake, but humanity refused to talk. A single message was transmitted to the planet below. It contained only 6 words. Nova Eden had children. Then the bombardment began. Human weapons tore through the planet's defenses with overwhelming force. Orbital platforms shattered the Krynn fleet, while kinetic strikes cracked the surface of their capital world. By the end of the day, the Krynn Dominion no longer existed. Not conquered, not occupied, erased. After the war, the Galactic Council finally heard from humanity. A single message was broadcast across the galaxy. "We tried to be civilized," the human representative said calmly. "We believed diplomacy could guide us into a peaceful future." Her voice hardened. But Nova Eden proved something important. The council chamber was silent. Humans survived ice ages, predators, plagues, and thousands of years of war with each other. She paused. "And if anyone threatens our people again," her final words echoed across the stars, "civilization will be optional." From that day forward, every empire in the galaxy understood one terrifying truth. Humanity had tried to be peaceful, but when pushed too far, they became the most dangerous civilization in the universe.